For years, I was stuck on a spiritual hamster wheel. I'd wake up every single day with one goal: be better. Be a better person. Be a better Christian. Be a better me. And every single night, I'd go to bed feeling like a total failure, exhausted, and even more unworthy than the day before. I was completely convinced that love was something you had to earn, and believe me, was I failing the test. I was burnt out. Then, right in the middle of all that exhaustion, I found one sentence in an ancient letter that just shattered everything I thought I knew about God, about love, and about my own worth. That hamster wheel of self-improvement. I think we all know what it feels like, don't we? The world is constantly screaming at us that our value is tied to our performance. Get better exam results, get a better job, get a better body, be a better person. We're living under this constant pressure to earn our spot, to prove that we're worthy. And that mindset, it bleeds right into our spiritual lives. It can easily turn into a performance-based faith where we subconsciously believe we have to clean ourselves up before God will really accept us. Thinking this way is a recipe for burnout. It leads to a faith built on fear and anxiety instead of on peace and freedom. You're always looking over your shoulder, wondering if you've slipped up one too many times, or if you've finally exhausted God's patience. It feels like you're on probation, and your good behavior is the only thing keeping you in His good graces. It's a heavy, crushing weight. It's the feeling of being completely helpless, like a prisoner who's been found guilty and is just waiting for the sentence to be handed down. I finally reached a point where I was just done. I was so tired of striving and failing. I felt like I was spiritually drowning, and the harder I struggled to be better, the faster I sank. I was ready to give up on the whole thing. And in that moment of quiet desperation, I stumbled across a single sentence tucked away in the book of Romans, chapter 5, and it changed everything. The verse is Romans chapter 5, verse 8, and it says this: "But God demonstrates His own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." Let that sink in for a second. Seriously, read it again. But God demonstrates His own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. This one sentence completely shatters the be better myth. Notice the wording. It doesn't say God feels love for us or thinks loving thoughts about us. It says He demonstrates it. The original Greek word used here, sunestemi, means to prove something, to establish it, to commend it through action. So God's love isn't just a passive emotion, it's a decisive, powerful action. And when did He do this? The verse is crystal clear. It wasn't after we got our act together. It wasn't after we promised to be and to do better next time. It was while we were still sinners. It was when we were at our absolute worst. In the same chapter, the author uses other words to describe us in that state: powerless, ungodly, and even enemies of God. Think about human love for a minute. We might say that for a really good, righteous person, sure, someone might be willing to die. But who dies for their enemy? Who sacrifices everything from someone who is actively fighting against them? That's exactly what this verse says God did. He didn't wait for us to become His friends. He died for us while we were His enemies to make us His friends. Salvation isn't about us meeting God halfway. It's about God crossing the entire distance to rescue us when we were completely and utterly helpless. That, right there, is the definition of grace. Getting my head around this changed me from the inside out. The hamster wheel stopped spinning. The weight was gone. For the first time, I finally understood that my relationship with God wasn't a performance review. It wasn't based on my ability to be good, but entirely on His decision to love. As the old hymn says, "Nothing in my hand I bring." We do not come to God with our own goodness. We come empty-handed, and we find His grace is enough. Now, does this truth give us a license to just go and do whatever we want? No, not at all. Instead, it frees us from the fear of failure that keeps us paralyzed. It lets us approach God not as a harsh judge, but as a loving Father. Prayer is no longer about me listing all my failures and begging for one more chance. It's a conversation, one that's built on the unshakable foundation of His love for me. It means that my worth isn't determined by my best day or my worst day. It was sealed by the single greatest act of love in history. It moves us out of a place of condemnation and into a state of grace where we can finally stand securely. If you're just exhausted from trying to earn a love that was never for sale in the first place, I want to encourage you. The be better myth is a lie. You can step off the hamster wheel. The Bible tells us that God's love isn't a prize to be won. It's a gift to be received. I'd encourage you to open up Romans chapter 5 for yourself and just read. Let this truth wash over you. Let's end with a short prayer. You can even say it aloud with me if you want. Lord, thank you for your love. Today, I'm letting go of the lie that I have to earn it. I receive your love right now, not because I'm worthy, but because you are so good. Thank you that while I was still a sinner, Christ died for me. Amen. I hope you'll come back tomorrow for day 3 of our series. We'll wrestle with that common feeling of being just one person among billions and ask the question, does God actually know me? We'll dive into a powerful verse from Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1, that says, I have called you by name. You are mine. And see what it means to be known by God by name, not by number. I'll see you then.